Have you seen my self-esteem?
Welcome everyone to Overflow's YouTube channel. Today is something special. Not only that I'm going to share to you something very personal and very amazing, but this video right now, what you're watching with your eyes is something very special. Because today, this video is the very first freshly made video for our YouTube channel. Yes, rejoice, come on, rejoice. Yes. So to those who are new to this channel, we usually do our prayer times, our worship times in Facebook. But today, we're gonna open up this new stream in YouTube, which is pretty diverse. We're gonna express our creative touch in how we're gonna express whatever God's expressing through us, really. And so today, something is really special. I really love saying special a lot because today is something special. Yeah, I'm gonna share something that's very close, that's very intimate, and that's very personal, and even a life-changing part of my life. I'm gonna share my Jesus story. But of course, I'm not gonna share all of it in this one video. What's gonna happen though is that the Jesus story is gonna be separated into three parts. Pre-Jesus, the day that I met Christ, and post-Jesus. And in each part, there's gonna be episodes dedicated for the pre, the day that I met Christ, and the post. So it's more of like season 1, season 2, season 3, like that. But I'm gonna share to you what happened to my life. And not only that, I'm gonna share events, physical events in my life, what happened in my life, but I'm gonna share topics, issues that are really prevalent among young people, and not only young people, but really people in general. So to not keep you waiting anymore, let's get to it. Episode 1. Where's your self-esteem? Good day, everyone. My name is Gio Lizares. I'm usually called Gio. I live in Bacolod City, in the province of Negros Occidental. Musta. And I have 4 siblings, and of course my parents. Let me introduce you to them first before I get any further. So I grew up in a household where family is really valued. Kung si Papa pa magambal sa amon, in a dinner table, and he would tell us what Lola would say to them. Kabalo ka mo. Ambagin na ni Lola, pero may samon niya, magdako na kamo gani. May mga asawa na kamo, may mga bata na kamo. Kumis ka, may mga apo kamo. Hindi ka mo malipat nga tipon-tipon ka mo gyapon. You know, if I have to put it in a quote, most of life might fall apart, but as long as I have my family with me, I'm okay. Yeah, diba? And not only that, I grew up in a family where family is really valued. I grew up as well in a Christian family. So every Sunday we would go to church, laban nga barkada sang parents namon nara sa church. There's a lot of activities in the church. You know, we would go to different places, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, because of church activities. And we really had a lot of exposure sa simbahan as in. But honestly, when I was about 11 years old, I didn't really get the point of church. Most of the time, do ka ang akon nga logic about what church is like. It's like when someone asks you what your religion is, you know, you answer back, I'm born again, or I'm evangelical. And that's the reason why you go to church. It's more of like because someone asks you what your religion is, or you have a certain religion, that's because why you go to church. And as far as my outlook of God, do kumbaga sa akon, it was more of like, He's just an idea. He's just a concept. I know, you know, like God is there, somewhere there, but I didn't really get the gist, the essence of it. And so church life was a really big part of my childhood, really. But at the same time, it wasn't a big part of my childhood. But what was a big part of my childhood though was school. Remember, kamo sa grade 1 pa kamo mga bata, you know, 7 years old, you're discovering the world, you're getting to know the people you can trust, you can't trust, you're getting to know yourself, your likes, your dislikes, your passions, and how the world reacts to you when you do this, your personality as a person. So, sang bata patad, we got through into that process where we're discovering some stuff. And for me, in about grade 5, dara nagasugod ang process balahaw. If I may say, that process that my feeling towards myself, what I felt about myself is getting defined. It was getting clearer, right? So of course, you know, if you go through that process, you would want to feel confident over yourself, right? You would want to feel good towards yourself. You would want to feel secure towards your personality. That you have this set of skills and talents that, you know what? I feel good towards myself. I have nothing to worry about. But when I was grade 5, that wasn't really my case. So in grade 5, every grading, in a span of 2 months, the school would release a card that would determine your academic performance at that time. We would call it the blue card. And so we would receive that, and what you would want is that you receive plain black markings to signify that you're good to go. You know what? You did good. You can do better for the next term, but you're doing good. You keep doing that academic performance. You're going to a road of excellence. You're doing good, right? And you would want that kind of outcome. But as for me, I didn't have that. Every time I opened my blue card, it wasn't plain black markings that I would see in my blue card. What I would see is a different variation of colors that will cause and that is purpose to bring you down and to suck every part of inspiration left for the pursuit of academic excellence. As in, every time I would receive the blue card, I would receive red marks, I would receive failures. And that was often what I received. And so much so, the time comes na kung may black plain markings man na 75 passing grade. And that was actually an opportunity for me to rejoice, right? salamat, pasar ko, miskan isa lang ka-grading. Because most of the time, I would receive failing grades in 1 to 2 to 3 subjects. And when I was young, grade 5, it really pulled down my self-esteem. It really pulled down my confidence over myself. Because where else as a student would you base your confidence, your success as a student? I always thought and I always felt towards myself that I was a failure, that it's really hard to achieve something, that the word success is nearly impossible for me to achieve. And it was really hard for me at that time. And whenever there's group works in school, you know, like if there's that brainstorming activity, I can barely give my opinion. I can barely give an idea to my group mates. But that if the time came that I would have an idea, I would keep it to myself because I would usually have that fear that I'm no good, you know. I would have that fear that my opinion would be rejected. So I always felt, actually nobody really told that to me face to face na failure ka or something like that. But like I felt my surroundings that I wasn't trusted when it comes to academics. So that really brought me down. So that was grade 5 to grade 6. But grade 7 was really a breakthrough year for me actually. Grade 7 was a year where I discovered that, oh, I do have passions. Oh, I can actually succeed in some place in my life. Oh, I'm not really that bad. I mean, who said that? So grade 7, I auditioned into a club, theater guild. I mean, like the inspiration of the audition was really so random, do pinalagpat ng balaw. You know, I was really fond of gaming that time, so I got the inspiration from a video game. You know, we were shooting our guns and we were saying some random stuff that I don't even remember right now. It was really random, do pinalagpat lang ito. But you know what? We received the news that we've got into the club. So rejoice, right? We got into the club and the time came that the directors gave the roles for the next play. And the next play was the play Mulan. Mulan. And you know, like I was in the classroom with all of my co-theater guild members. Sorry about that. Co-theater guild members. And we were all waiting. We were all anticipating for what role we have received, what role that they will give to us. So I was waiting. So to cut the story short, I received a main role, a front act role. Imagine that. And so at that time, it was really a big deal for me because you know what? From a student that was always in the back row, figuratively, that I wasn't really that trustworthy in my field of academics. I wasn't really that looked up to. I wasn't really in the front lines where people get to ask me, hey, what's the answer? Something like that. But here, I receive a front act. I receive a main role. Just so you know, I received the role Mushu. So it was a big deal. Yes, it was. And so time came to cut the story short. The play was finished and it really lifted me up. It really lifted my confidence up for real. You know, like pagsulod pa lang sa eskwelahan, may mga schoolmates mo namin. You don't even know these people. You don't even know what grade they are, what year they are. But as the moment you got into the school, ikaw to, si Mushu. Wow, congratulations! Kanami, giblas ang acting mo. You know, like, you know, as time came by, I would walk around the campus and people that I don't even know would greet me, congratulations, I really did a good job, it was really entertaining. But what really solidified, if I may say, and really encouraged me so much is the teachers. Why? Because the main people who keeps on saying that I need to improve, I need to double time on my studies, I'm gonna have summer classes in this year because you're not really doing so good in this subject, in that subject. And these were the teachers who were telling me, wow, I didn't know that you had that kind of charisma. I didn't know that you had that kind of gift, of talent. Congratulations, we were really entertained. And imagine that, you know. And it really lifted me up. It was so good. I felt good towards myself. Yes. And aside from Theater Guild, I also joined the track and field, the running club, yes. So I maybe won a medal or two. And to sum it all up, grade 7 was really a year of breakthrough for me. Really a time where I discovered that I can actually have a place of success. I discovered in me that, you know what, I'm actually good at something. And to recall to you, when I was a kid, I was really actually fond of impersonating people. You know, there was a movie that we would usually watch as kids in our house. It was the movie called Hancock, and there was a phrase that Hancock would use whenever he's triggered. You know what I mean, those who watched the movie already. You know, he would use this phrase. Whenever he's triggered, whenever he's irritated. Call me. Bad word. One more time. Yeah, he would say that. And to your knowledge, to your information, I actually said the bad word when I was a child. And my younger brother would hear it, and he would tell my parents, and I would get scolded. But the bottom line is, I love impersonating, I love acting. And grade 7 was that year where, you know what, this is something special for me. This is something that's really lifted me up. This is something that broke the stronghold that success was impossible for me. It was possible. But at the same time that I received and I've seen breakthroughs in that year, it was the same time that I received breaking as well. There was a group of people in our classroom that would make fun of different classmates of mine. And one of the people that they made fun of was me. You know, so many times it was verbal, but at times it was physical as well. I even remember the time where, you know, I was working on something, I was working on an assignment, I was writing in a classroom with my chair and the table. I was writing something. And kibot na lang kuya, may gampang-ampang sa tupad sa akon, mapasalo-salo ko siya. A chair that he would want to play catch with you. Imagine, it's not a ball, it's a chair. A steel chair that he would want to let you catch it. So, you know, I was really irritated in that. And sometimes I would just laugh with him, you know, to maybe try in the long run if he's gonna stop doing it, but he didn't. But most of the time, what really brought me down is the verbal bullying, the verbal insults, the verbal making fun of, you know, just anything. I don't even remember what words or what names that they've called me, but I can just remember them calling whatever is noticeable from me, from my physique or something like that, you know? Like, kung niwang ko te, suyaon nila nga, maybe I'm a stick or something like that. But it was, what I remembered clearly is what I felt, that there has to be something off with my personality. That there has to be something off with how I look like. Maybe I'm not that attractive. Maybe I can't really make good friends, make new friends, just because of what they were telling me. And it happened in a daily basis in school. There was a time, you know, this would happen a lot. And there was a time that we were all doing our lab work and I would just be surprised nga may gampak na sang liog ko sa likod. Hindi ka ba na makibot? You know, you would just laugh with it. What's worse is how I received it, how I responded to it. Is that I would laugh with them. I would somehow try to be friends with them for the reason that they would stop it. But they didn't. I know what I needed to do was to tell my parents, but I was too afraid at the fact that I would be labeled as someone nga talawit or a coward, you know, because I can't fight my own battles or something like that. And I was really in fear and just submitting to anything that they would want for the sake that maybe they would stop. And it's really hard, you know, it really brought my self-esteem down. Not only brought down, but I didn't really find my self-esteem. I didn't really find my worth. I can't seem to find it. I can't seem to track inside me. All I felt was that I was really downgraded. I was really put down. I was really discouraged. I was really insulted. And it was hard. And where else can you find the nearest place for you to see self-esteem? For you to see attention? Yeah, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. You know, you can have time to think about it. Just... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Yes, social media is the nearest place. I would post videos of wanting for people to add me. You know what? I actually have one cringy video for you to watch, just for you to see the evidence that I actually wanted attention when I was young. Here it goes.
Hey there, mate. This is all I got, man. I can't believe I'm in this video on Facebook. Maybe, just maybe. How many friends in Facebook that I added? Maybe 100 plus or 200. But I need your help to add me. I'm Gio Lizares. Actually, it's Gio because I typed this accent into.
Hello, mate. And so, not only that I would post videos, but I would chat, specifically women that I find attractive in school that I don't even know, that I barely knew, and I would chat them, say hello, kamusta ka na? You know, I was that creepy guy, if you would want to label that, who would chat from out of the blue and just speak random things, you know. And I was that weird guy, you know, just so you know. But it was the reason that I was finding that validation. I was finding that affirmation. And it was really hard for me. And social media was a very attractive go-to for me to find that self-esteem. But it left a bigger hole in my heart. But you know what? It may sound like in my high school life was really depressing or some like discouraging, but it's really not. I may have times that I was discouraged, that I was downgraded, that I was insulted, but my high school life was good. My high school life was memorable. I had good times with my friends. I had just memorable times of just conversing with my friends, walking in the mall, watching movies, you know, just those old good times where social media and cell phone wasn't really a hit for me. I actually had the keypad, the Nokia cell phone, and you know, I wasn't all the time in my phone. I was out there and conversing with people and really making friends and enjoying with my friends, really. So high school wasn't that depressing. I may have that as a part, but it wasn't the whole thing in my high school life. But afterwards, there came an issue that not only darkened my life literally and really destroyed my innocence, but it came as far as being my God. It became my God. It consumed all my time, honestly. And that issue was for the next episode. So you ought to tune in. There's gonna be exciting content in the next episode, alright? And so self-esteem is something in our society that's very complicated. People would tell you that you're worthy, that you're valuable, but where does that value come from? We would often encourage people who are valuable because of what they do. So it's more of like conditional thing because they've done a good thing, they've done a great thing, achievement, then they're worthy of that value. But then if someone, maybe a skilled someone did a really horrible thing, that person is not worthy of any value because that person's value is dependent on his work. But that's not the case for God. God has already set a value in you before you even did something wrong. Before you were even in this earth, He already had something in mind, and that is valuable in the first place. That is something that's amazing, that's a masterpiece from His part. And so, know this, you are created by God, you are loved by God, and you are valuable. Yes. And your self-esteem is not according to your works, but according to His love towards you. That's the self-esteem of God. So, catch us in our next episode of My Life. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be full of action, full of situations that make you whoa, but it's gonna be exciting. So tune in for our next Overflow testimony episode, right? And this is the first time that I'm gonna say this to you, to everyone who's watching this. Like and subscribe Overflow's YouTube channel. Okay, see ya guys.